Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Welcome to the Grow Tent, everybody. You have found the best cannabis growing channel on YouTube, man. The place where we simplify the approach for you so everyone can learn how to grow. We make it so simple, even I can understand. So I'm going to listen and learn right now.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Grow Tent. We got a great episode for you today. So today we're going to be talking about, we had a viewer question come in and they wanted to know if it was okay to do multiple different training styles at the same time. So we're going to talk about that today. And then they also want to know if you could, if you implement, how often you can implement these styles. So we're going to talk about how often we can train and not slow down the plant too much. So we're going to talk about both that. But first, guys, all of the t-shirts are finally finished. They did take a little bit longer than I thought they were going to take. You know, we had to go back and forth a little bit on the color designs, but I think they all came out amazing. You can actually move over for a second. So I'll put them up right there. There's the first one. Colors came out amazing on it, just like all of them. Took a little bit to kind of get the process right, but I didn't want to have them dull, or I take a lot of pride in the merch, so I wanted them to come out correct. Here's another one. That's the second one. Once again, colors came out awesome. And then here is the third one, and once again, colors came out fantastic. So the shirts are all done. They did take a little bit longer than I would have liked, but they're all done. And I'm going to pick them up on Monday. And after I get them on Monday, I'm going to take them straight back to the office. I'll separate them all out into their sizes, get them all put onto the rack, get them inventoried onto the website. And then as soon as that is all done, I will put them, I will start shipping them. So this coming up week, all week, I will be shipping out your orders and your free gifts that comes with those orders. So they'll be on their way. All right, so now that's all done. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, watch the full video. All right, so can you implement multiple trainings at the same time? And what I believe they're referring to is like, can you top and super crop at the same time? Could you low stress train and mainline at the same time? Can you implement a bunch of these different, can you implement different styles at the same time? The short answer is yes. So like whenever I am topping, I'm usually looking to see if I can super crop also. You're not really going to do that on your first topping. But when you start getting into your second and your third topping, you're generally going to be super cropping with your topping every single time. Helps you bring the top level down to the middle level, and then you've got a plant with all the tops at the same level, which means your next or subsequent topping, you'll be able to top all the branches instead of just the top set of the branches. And you just do that by topping and super cropping at the same time. Generally, that is on your second topping, you'll be able to do that. But you can implement, if you would do, instead of super cropping, you're like, well, I'm not a fan of super cropping. I'm super nervous about breaking the branch, and I'm not ready for super cropping yet. I will tell you, just do it. The more practice you get at something, the better you'll become at it. So don't stress out about super cropping. It is one of those things where it's a feel thing. It's something you do more and more often, and you get the hang of it more and more. So I would suggest just do it. But if you don't like it, I understand. It's a little nerve-wracking crushing those branches like that and then bending them over. You can break them, but you get better at it the more you do it. But if you're like, I just want to do low-stress training, I don't want to do super cropping, you absolutely can do it. You can top and then take the branches and tie them down with strings or zip ties or wire ties, thread ties, whatever you want to do. It will work just fine if you want to do it that way. So you can implement multiple training styles at the same time. Can you do them too often? Yeah, absolutely. Every time we do any kind of training, we're slowing the plant's natural growth down because we're using the training to make the plant grow wide and not tall, and we're using it to get more tops out of the plant. So can you do it too often? Yeah, absolutely. So you don't need to be in there every day, every other day, messing with the plant. Generally, if I'm going to do any kind of training, I just do it one time a week. And I usually just do it on the same day every week. If I'm usually off Saturday and Sunday, I just pick one of those days. I'm like, hey, this is my training day. It's either Saturday or Sunday. And we just, go on about our business of, oh, it's Saturday. Let's go in and train any of the plants that need to be trained. transplant, Saturday or Sunday is kind of like my working in the garden day. But if you just stick to one time a week, you're never going to run into any problems with slowing the plants down too much. Now, there is a small caveat to that, not a big one. If you're taking clones from one of your regular plants, let's say you don't run mother plants and you're taking clones from just your plants you're planning on putting into flower. If you're taking a bunch of clones, you do need to give that plant about 10 days to recover before you put it into flower. You can think of cloning as like an aggressive form of topping because you're, instead of just clipping the tops of the plants, you're actually taking a pretty little chunk of them with got 2 to 3 nodes on it. So generally, anytime I'm going to be taking a bunch of clones from a plant I'm going to be putting into flower, which I do that quite often because especially if I'm running a new line, I don't know what phenotypes that are going to express themselves in the plant. So the way I would, this is probably better for another video, but I've already started talking about it, so I guess I'll keep talking about it for a minute. The way I would figure out because if you've never run something before and you're not growing it from clone, you don't actually know what you're getting, especially anytime you're growing from seed. So before I flip everything into flower, I always take 3 or 4 cuts of it, and then I put it back in my clone machine, my turbo cloner, and then I let those go. So I flip it into flower. If I find anything special, I go back. I'm like, okay, this was plant 1, this is plant 2, this is plant 3. Man, plant 3 was freaking insane. So then I go back to my clones that are now in veg, and I'm like, okay, clones from plant 1 were nothing special. Clones from plant 2 were nothing special. Okay, here's my clones from plant 3. I will take these, turn these into mothers, and then get clones from these plants. And then just because I took clones before I went into veg, and that's how I would do that. But in general, if you are going to be cloning, taking a bunch of clones from your plant, you do need to give them, instead of just the normal 7-day rest period, I do give them a few extra days. So it's like a week and a half instead of 7 days. All right. I hope everybody has a fantastic week coming up. I think that should do it. It's pretty simple, straightforward questions today, but I thought they were important to cover, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of the week. You guys stay tuned. The new website is just about finished. There's going to be some really cool stuff on there you don't want to miss out. As you guys know, I don't ever, well, we'll save that for another video too, but just telling you, you should probably check out the new website. You'll hear me do a little announcement video. Me and Ricky GT did something kind of special for it, and I think you guys will like the video whenever it comes out about it dropping. So I hope to see you guys all over there, and this week, if I am ignoring any of you, I apologize. I will probably be spending about 10 hours a day shipping packages. All right, I'll see you guys later. GT, out.